it's really crazy. Like, because like I said with my brother Nas, if I ruled the world, every black man would be an investor. Every black woman would be an investor. Okay, they're not just gonna look at us like unlikely winners and unlikely. We're not just gonna be spectators in this game. Yo, welcome back to Risktaker Radio, fam. We're back for episode 4. I really appreciate y'all sticking with us and joining me for episode 4 right now. We got some excellent stuff to talk about this week, so let's get right into it, you dig? So before we get right into the show, I just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to Nasir Nation, man. Come on, go ahead and get you one of these fly shirts on NasirNation.com. Follow them on the gram. They really dope. I love this crew neck, man. Copped it a few weeks ago. The green looks good on me, don't it? All right, so yeah, Nasir Nation, man. Like I said in a couple episodes ago, I'm Igbo man. Straight from the first gen vibes. So we're gonna get right into the episode with that. All right, so this week we're talking about Coinbase and the IPO. There was a lot of information that came out this past week. A lot of stuff relative to the culture. We have two relevant folks, Nas, right? And everybody who knows the rapper Nas. That's a really dope man, and imagine that. All right, so we know Nas. He's really relevant to the culture, and bro made a big power play, right? All right, so if we go ahead and look at what Forbes had to say, rapper Nasir Jones, right, better known as Nas, he came out as an unlikely winner in the Coinbase IPO. He was an early investor, and what's said is that his stake is worth at least $40 million today, right? So it's really insane because Coinbase is a cryptocurrency exchange, and it just became the United States' most valuable cryptocurrency exchange and financial exchange in general. So that's just to let you guys know and to remind you, we talk about cryptocurrencies and the adoption of that blockchain technology and the future of the financial industries and financial markets in a few episodes. And we're going to keep talking about that because we're millennials, we're Gen Z, younger, everybody, even people that's older. Everybody needs to tap in and really take advantage of this moment because it's happening right now. And again, just a few days ago on April 14th, right? Coinbase went and IPO'd. So what is an IPO? It's an initial public offering. That's when a company actually becomes publicly traded on the stock exchange, like the New York Stock Exchange or the Nasdaq, et cetera, right? Essentially they go ahead and start purchase. People can start to go on the stock exchange and purchase shares of the company. Now, when Coinbase IPO'd, the companies was valued at $99.6 billion, just essentially $100 billion. Isn't it crazy? Yeah, and actually the company Coinbase actually reached a valuation of over 100 billions straight into a few minutes of trading, right, during the trading day. So it's really powerful to see a man in our culture, right, and like Nas, who was able to become an unlikely winner, and Forbes, again, y'all don't have the answers. I don't like when y'all talk like this about black investors, right? Because black investors are not supposed to be a phenomenon, and they will not be a phenomenon, right? We're not going to be just some unlikely winners. We are investors too, right? Just because our splint is black doesn't mean we aren't tapped in, all right? So shout out to my brother Nas for beating these underdog projections and things that people expect from black people, right? We were in the game in the Series B portion of the investment, and shout out to Nas. Nas invested in Coinbase through his Queensbridge Venture Partners venture capital firm. So a venture capital firm is essentially a company that is meant to invest in startups, right? Like startups like Coinbase, but they reached Coinbase in the Series B round, and we're gonna go through what each different stage in startup raising and capital raising essentially is to companies. Okay, so in startups. So his company invested between 100,000 and 500,000, right? That's the typical amount for his company to be invested in. And at the time of his investment, right, Coinbase's shares were worth $1 and some change. All right, so it's really insane because that means his firm was going to get between a 99,000 and about 500,000 shares. So it's really insane when you think about that. At a share price of $415, when the stock started trading on the 14th, that means that his shares were worth over $40 million and $206 million, somewhere in that range. So it's really crazy. If you listen to Nas, he had this post that he said on Twitter. He said, long crypto forever. To long something in a trading perspective is to say that you were expecting the price to go higher. If you're going to short something, that means you expect the price to go low. So he's saying long crypto forever, and again, in sickness and in health. So it's really funny that he tweeted that. Shout out to Nas. He really is inspiring, and the culture needs that. The culture really needs that, because if we don't have more black investors, we're going to have Forbes keep calling us unlikely winners, right? We're going to have people continue to look at us like we aren't capable of reading, identifying market trends, not just playing the game. You know, they say there's three kind of people: people who play the game, people who watch the game, and some people who don't know what the F is going on. But don't forget there's a fourth, and that's somebody who makes the game. So make sure that you guys are keeping your eyes open, and the culture, we're going to start making the game, right? We essentially drive all of these companies. We drive all of these different companies, not to say Coinbase in particular, but when a company is dropping a new social network or a platform or something, or like Clubhouse, once the black community started to jump into it and started making it really popular and fun, you see them get billion-dollar valuations. So we play the game. Now it's our turn to start making the game. So keep your eyes open for that. Shout out to my brother Nas. Man, if I ruled the world, all black people would be black investors. We'd straight up be on cryptos. We'd be on our ish when it comes to our business endeavors, our keeping our eyes open for economic trends, startup trends. And that's what we're going to do through this show. So shout out to that man. So the next investor that we got to talk about, oh my goodness, this is a guy that's inspired not just me, but so many young black men and women in Prince George's, the gorgeous Prince George's County, Maryland. Shout out to my brother Kevin Durant.
He did that shit. Guilty as fuck.
Man, he did that. He really did that. He really did that, man. Kevin Durant, through his investment company, another venture capital firm, 35 Ventures, the way we would probably say it around PG's, Trey 5 Ventures, right? Him and his business partner, his longtime manager, Rich Kleinman, they invested back in Coinbase in 2017, right? So we just talked about Nas, who invested in the Series B form of the capital raise for the Coinbase platform, and again, Nas in 2013. But for Kevin Durant, he invested with his company in 2017 during the Series D fundraise. Okay, so again, we're going to talk about that in a second. Now, KD, okay, as a third, already he's the third highest earner in the NBA, right? So bro is balling, right? But the thing that's really inspiring about KD is that he didn't just leave his investment knowledge at the wayside. He took that capital as the third highest earner in the NBA today, and he's been investing in multiple things. He invested in Postmates that got purchased by Uber. Right, so he's really eating. He's eating right now, right, on and off the court. Okay, so shout out to my brother KD. This is really inspiring, especially when we get right into it. KD invested during the Series D fundraise for Coinbase, and that company, 35 Ventures, helped in the Series D round, and that round raised over $100 million. So you got to really think about it's levels to this, right? And at a valuation of $1.6 billion at the time. It was really crazy, right, for him to be involved. And that was just 4 short years ago. Okay, so the company really, the users essentially are on that platform. Again, it's a cryptocurrency exchange. It's the largest, most valuable exchange in the U.S. People on that platform mostly deal in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are two particular cryptocurrencies that are operating on blockchains like Ether and the Bitcoin blockchain, right? So now that investment that he made in 2017, 53x'd his investment. KD 53x'd his investment that he made in 2017, right? So it's just so powerful to see what he did. Again, like I said, he invested $1 million in Postmates before it got sold to Uber in 2020. And now, a $1 million investment in 2017 would be over worth over 53 million today. So we don't know exactly how much KD invested in Coinbase, but we know that brother is eating through, and so is his venture partners. So shout out to KD one more time for the one time. Whatever they say he did that ish, man. And it's really crazy. Like, because like I said with my brother Nas, if I ruled the world, every black man would be an investor. Every black woman would be an investor, okay? They're not just going to look at us like unlikely winners and unlikely, we're not just going to be spectators in this game. Look at the power of what social can do for us now. You know what I mean? People, even if people are not the most privy, they're starting to get their feet wet as investors. Dogecoin, I read something that there was, if you had made about $100 investment in Doge, and maybe about 2018, you would be having about $210,000 in your in growth from that, because Doge has been going crazy recently. So it's crazy. Like, cryptocurrency is the future. No ifs, ands, or buts. Anybody who does not adapt their business models to this new technology will become a dinosaur and left behind. And hey, again, millennials, it's our time. Let's go ahead and step up and fill that space, right? So we're not just going to be overlooked. We're not going to be underdogs anymore. It's common knowledge. We have the internet. We're entering a skill-based economy, right? Somebody who is in India doesn't necessarily need a college degree to be able to code, right? Somebody who has the wherewithal to get a license to practice real estate salesperson on behalf of another individual, when they're either buying or selling, doesn't necessarily need to become a realtor today, right? It's just about knowledge. It's about information. It's about being able to engage and have that actual skill set, right? Because fancy titles and papers are losing their weight, right? As we move into the economy of the future. Remember, close to the end of the Trump administration, there was actually legislation passed that stated that, skills and skill sets would be looked at more heavily than college degrees and paperwork per se. So definitely do your research, definitely add value to your vessel, continually, progressively add value to your vessel, and look out for a lot of these opportunities, fam, like risk takers. Be risk takers, right? Let's not be dormant. Let's live enormous, right? So imagine that if I ruled the world, everybody who's black will be an investor. And we gonna get there. We gonna get there.